What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Footballer's Advice. In today's video, I wanted to go over a day in the life of a college soccer player. If you're a soccer player that is thinking about playing soccer in college in the US, whether it be at the NCAA Division I, Division II, Division III, or NAIA level, this video will cover what you can expect a normal day to look like. For those of you who are new to the channel and may not know, I was fortunate enough to play soccer in college at the Division I level from 2013 to 2015 for Indiana University, who competes in the Big Ten Conference. So with this experience at playing at the collegiate level, and knowing that some of our subscribers and viewers are also planning on playing soccer in college as well, I thought this would be a great video to help you guys understand what to expect when you are a student athlete in college. First, you guys should know that college is divided up into two seasons, the fall and the spring. And between both of the seasons, the fall is a lot more intense than the spring season. And don't get me wrong, you're still busy and have a lot less free time than regular students, but when you compare the spring to the spring is just less demanding. This is because in the fall, this is when the regular season and NCAA tournament takes place, and every game means something in terms of points and rankings. During the spring season, however, you still play games, but it's only a fraction of the number of games that you would play in the fall, and usually these are exhibition games that don't matter. Essentially, the spring is a time for coaches to try different tactics, and also to put players in different positions. That way they can figure out what style of play, and also what lineup will allow them to win the most games in the upcoming season in the fall. So with understanding the difference between the two seasons, let's go over a day in the life of a college soccer player in the fall and spring season. In the fall, teams would have practice in the late afternoon to evening. At Indiana University, we had practice from 3 p.m. to around 5:30 p.m. depending on what we were doing during practice that day. So since practice was later in the day, most players would have class before training. So from 8 a.m. to about 2 p.m. is when we would have class. And depending on how many credit hours you were taking during that semester, players would have anywhere from 2 to 3 classes during this block of time. Now, most student athletes stay away from having class at 8 a.m. because of how early they would have to get up and go to class. However, I will say that if you do start your classes later in the morning to afternoon, you may also have to take classes after training. For me, I've taken 8 a.m.s before during the fall season, and it wasn't a problem. And honestly, I actually liked it because it made me go to bed early and I was able to get up earlier to start my day rather than sleeping in and getting up and starting my day at noon like most college students. So during the 2 to 3 classes that you would have in the morning and afternoon, you would then grab lunch either between class or after class at one of the cafeterias on campus. Now, thankfully at Indiana University, they were able to have an athlete-specific cafeteria where student athletes could go to get healthy meal options. So if I was able to, I would go to this athlete-specific cafeteria in order to get a healthy meal option. And then, either between or after class, I would then go to a study room in order to get all my homework done and study before training. To give you guys a couple of tips when it comes to balancing schoolwork and playing soccer, if you can get any studying or homework done either before, between, or after class, take advantage of it. Even if it's just 30 minutes, trust me, it's going to make a difference later on in the day. This helps you free up time later in the day when you want to relax and decompress before you have to start this process all over again the next day, where you get up, you eat, you go to class, you study, you practice, you eat, and then you go to bed. So trust me. So like I said, after my afternoon class, I would then have about an hour or two to study before I would have to go to practice at 3. I would either go to the library or, depending on the university that you are attending, they'll have an athlete-specific center for student athletes to go. That way they can study and get all of their homework done without being distracted. Typically, I would go to the athlete center. That way I could get all of my homework done and study for any exams coming up that week. So then around 2:15 to 2:30, I would then head to the locker room in order to get dressed and get ready for training. Another thing that I would recommend to you guys about training is to get there early. It's better to be early than late, and if you need any treatment done like getting wrapped or stretched by the athletic trainer, make sure to have all of that taken care of, and that way you're on the field ready to train before training starts. One of the worst things that you guys can do is be late for training. From there, like I said, training would go from 3 to about 5:30 p.m. and then after training, you would then head back down to the locker rooms in order to shower and then go to dinner. Now, depending on what college you attend, just like the example with the lunch where they had athlete-specific cafeterias, you may also be told by the athletic department that after training, they want you to go to an athlete-specific cafeteria. That way you can get a healthy meal option after training. So at Indiana University, what we would do is after training, we would then head down to the locker rooms to shower and then go straight to the athletic cafeteria. That way we could get a healthy meal. And then after dinner, this is where, depending on when you started class in the morning, you would either then go from dinner to the athlete-specific center to study, that way you can get all your homework done, or you would go from dinner straight to class, that way you can finish up however many classes you had for the rest of the day. Usually though, it's only one class that you would have to attend at night. For me, I've taken night classes as well, but I do prefer to take all of my classes in the morning. That way, after training and dinner, I can either go study or just relax and get ready for the next day. Sometimes though, the classes that you are required to take for your major are only offered in the afternoon and evening and aren't offered in the morning. So this is why some student athletes are forced to take night classes, because the class that they would have taken in the afternoon conflicts with training. Then after class, or after you've completed all of your homework in the evening, you would then just repeat this process of going to sleep, getting up, eating, going to class, eating again, training, eating, studying, and then going back to bed. And that pretty much sums it up for what a day in the life of a college soccer player looks like in the fall season. For the spring season, the only difference is that instead of having training in the late afternoon to evening, you would actually be having practice in the morning at 8 a.m. From there, you would take all of your classes in the afternoon to evening, with your first class starting anywhere from 10:30 a.m. to about 11 a.m. You would still take 2 to 3 classes a day, and for me, I was able to complete all of my classes right around 3 p.m. So for the rest of the day, I was able to relax or study and get any homework that I needed to do, or even study for exams for that coming week. Sometimes, even though this is pretty rare, you may have practice at night in the spring, but it's pretty uncommon. The reason why the spring is also less demanding than the fall season is because the NCAA actually puts restrictions on how many hours that you can practice during the week for the first couple months of the season, whereas in the fall season, there are no restrictions. This is why practice in the spring isn't as long as it is in the fall. And unlike the fall, in the spring you only have weekend games and don't have any midweek games on Wednesday. And with that being said, guys, about the fall and spring season, that wraps it up for what a day in the life looks like for a college soccer player. In the comments section, guys, let me know either one, if you're planning on playing soccer at the collegiate level, and if you are, let me know what schools you're considering attending. If you guys want, I can always make more videos about the recruiting process and actually how to determine what school is right for you. If this interests you at all, also put that in the comments section and let me know. That way I can make more videos here in the future. But with that being said, guys, don't forget to subscribe to Footballer's Advice. Just go ahead and smash that subscribe button over here to the side, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.